My thoughts, my opinion. Sports podcast.
Yo, what it is? Welcome back to another episode of MTMO Sports Podcast, Doug. And this is my 153rd thought, yo. And this is going to be a dope episode, yo. I got a great topic to talk about, yo. There's been a lot going on, and it's going to be mainly around the NBA, you feel me? Because we just had the NBA draft just a couple of days ago. We're going to talk about some of the teams' picks. We're going to talk about who they pick. Is it a right fit? And we're going to go ahead and grade their picks on this upcoming draft. We're going to talk about the NBA trades, yo. There's been some trades that that probably got us scratching our head a little bit, and there's some good trades that happened that I feel like some teams is trying to make a strive to open up some more cap space to maybe better their future up in the upcoming years. So I can't wait to talk about that. And yo, we got a mega fight coming up in September, even though it's a couple of months away. But yo, I cannot wait for this fight, and I cannot wait to go ahead and talk about this fight, yo. So we're going to talk about the Canelo versus Bud Crawford fight, yo. And I'm going to get my prediction and weigh in on that. And like I said, yo, I most definitely can't wait for that fight. That is most definitely going to be a super fight. But before we go any further, yo, if you are not already, yo, please like, share, and subscribe to this YouTube channel, as I am trying to reach to my mini goal of 1,000 subscribers, you feel me? And I need your help, you feel me? So just go out here and spread the word. Let everybody know that MTMO Sports Podcast is the podcast that you need in your rotation, yo, because once you subscribe, you will get the notifications of when I'm dropping my live shows, when I drop little YouTube clips or YouTube short videos, you feel me? So make sure y'all go out here and hit that subscribe button and spread the word. Tell a friend who could be a friend who could possibly wants to be your friend that MTMO Sports Podcast is the podcast that they need in their rotation, you feel me? So come on, yo, help me out, you feel me? I think right now we are sitting at 397, 3 away from 400, and once I get there, we still got a long way to go, but you feel me? But help me, yo. That like I said, yo, I'm trying to produce a great podcast for y'all out here to keep tuning in to me every week or whenever I do drop episode, you feel me? So make sure y'all go out here and help me reach my mini goal of 1,000 subscribers. I need y'all to go out here and subscribe, you feel me? So make sure y'all do that. Also, if you're not already on the movement, yo, please hop on the movement, yo. Walk a mile in our shoes is our non-profit organization that is out here giving back to our community. And we are growing. You feel me? We are growing. We are getting some great headlights. We are getting some good looks, some great everything for us that's coming into this great nonprofit organization, yo. And we are in 3 different areas. We are in North New Jersey, South Jersey, and here in Baltimore. You feel me? So we are out here. We are out here giving back to our community, whether it's a clothes drive, food drive, personal hygiene, whatever it is that we are giving back to our community. And right now, we are currently here in Baltimore have a fundraiser going on, a sneaker raffle fundraiser, where you can go ahead and buy your raffle tickets, and you can eligible to get free pair of sneakers for kids. You know what I mean? Right now, we are doing 2 free pairs of sneakers of Adidas. So make sure y'all hit me up on here or on my IG. It's right there on the ticket, MTMO_sports podcast, saying that you want to get a raffle. I'll let you know how you can participate, yo. Like I said, this is going back to a great cause, because in August, my team will be throwing a back to school basketball tournament, where we'll be giving out back to school supplies, and we'll be having a basketball tournament for the kids. So, like I said, yo, it's real dope. I appreciate you, Gene, yo, for helping me start this nonprofit down here in Baltimore, yo. And like I said, everything is going up. So like I said, yo, it's not too late to join the party. Make sure you follow us, Walk a Mile in Our Shoes, on all social media platforms. We got the fundraiser going on. We got a sip and paint going on. So make sure y'all come out here and help and support us. You feel me? As we trying to strive to better our communities out here. Now that we got the business part out the way, let's talk about some sports, Doug's. Yo. And like I said, yo, it's going to be mainly based on the NBA, because the NBA has been popping and buzzing this whole entire offseason, ever since the championship. So, speaking of championship, yo, I wasn't here to talk about the finals. And here's my little rant real quick. Shout out to the OKC Thunder for winning their first ever championship as the OKC Thunder. Great season, winning 68 games. You produced the MVP. You produced the Finals MVP, a Western Conference MVP. Shout out to SGA for putting on a great showcase. Shout out to Jalen Williams, yo. J-Dub, as they like to call him. He most definitely showed up in that co-star spot, and he held it down. Yes, he had bad up and down games, and overall, man, he came through when it was time for him to come through. Most definitely in Game 7. So, shout out to the whole team, yo. They did everything right. They built the team from the bottom. They built the team from draft picks. Shout out to Paul George too, because he was the main reason why OKC got all these damn draft picks. But yeah, yo, OKC really was a complete team from top to bottom, from head coach, matter of fact, from GM down to even the cleanup crew, the team. You know what I mean? It's just like OKC would just hit the toe, the better team. They had their superstar, they had the co-star, they had the role players, they had everything that they could possibly need to win. Shout out to Indiana Pacers too, yo, because the Pacers really showed us something. The Pacers, it's just not that 4th or 5th seed that everybody just need to keep overlooking. Tyrese Halliburton, man, you are not overrated. You are a star in this league, man. I can't wait for you to heal back up and actually get out here and start hooping again, man, because like I said, yo, you was the reason why the Indiana Pacers were who they are. That's why they traded for you. You know what I mean? Like I said, the only thing I would just say that I would think that I would wish that Tyrese Halliburton would insert himself in more games and not just like popping in and out of games. You know, whatever their team game plan, if that's the way that Rick Carlisle is designing for him to play, then I understand. You got to follow what the coaches is, but I just think that Tyrese Halliburton is a star in this league. You need to get his roses. You need to get his respect. Wish you nothing but a speedy recovery, man. And we need to have a conversation about the Indiana Pacers or where they land at in the Eastern Conference. But that's another time, another subject. But yeah, yo, and I see a lot of people was coming back saying that if Tyrese Halliburton would have played, they felt like the Pacers would have won that game, or you know, it could have been a different outcome. In my opinion, I really felt like that. I believe Tyrese Halliburton would have most definitely elevated the Pacers, but I just really felt like that the Thunder was all in. They knew what the situation was, and they faced that situation. Not saying that the Pacers didn't face the situation anytime during their playoff run, but it was just like the Thunder were just totally just built, you know what I mean, to win the championship this year. The Indiana Pacers are going to have to find a way to keep their hot streak going. They can't just keep going, be hot one game and off another game, you know, not having the best shooting game the next game. So I just think that the Indiana Pacers need to find a way for them to be a consistent hot team, a consistent shooting hot team in my eyes, because I really feel like the Pacers do have almost everything that they need. They got a superstar. Well, they don't have a superstar. Let me not just say it. They have a star. They got 2 stars because Pascal Siakam is a star as well. They got good role players, and they deep on the bench and on as well. So I just think that the Pacers just got to figure that out. You know what I mean? I just don't know. They just got to figure out how to be consistent shooting. And once they do that, they will be a team that people won't keep overlooking, my opinion. Now, that's my finals rant. Hope y'all like it. If you don't, oh well. Say nah. Yeah, that's my finals rant though. But now, after the NBA finals, we already know that what's the next thing coming up. The NBA draft. And this year NBA draft has some good stars, some good players in there. Some players that we feel like they can help elevate the NBA, help change the game, and maybe get some more views. And that and for the NBA. And we all know Dallas had number one pick. We feel like Dallas, well, not Dallas, but we all feel like the NBA had rigged the lottery to have Dallas to be the number one pick because they gave up their superstar and Luka Doncic to the Lakers. And everybody's still scratching their heads and still trying to figure out how did this trade went down and why did this trade went down. But in return, the NBA said, well, you know what? Since you did that, we're going to go ahead and give you number one draft pick. And you can go ahead and pick Cooper Flag because Cooper Flag is potentially supposed to be the next phenom of the game. But don't they say that every year about a player? They say that Wemby is the next guy supposed to be changing the NBA, and then the following year is supposed to be the next guy. They say this about everybody every year. But Cooper Flag is now drafted to the Dallas Mavericks, and everybody is hyped. And I really feel like that I still need to see a little bit more from Cooper Flag. Yes, he had a great high school years. Yes, he had a good 1 year run with Duke. But, I'm not going to just quite say that he haven't quite sold me. I'm just saying that I'm just not going to say that I'm all in to say that he is going to bring multiple championships to Dallas right away. Not going to, that's the part where I was hearing stuff like that. Oh, yeah, Dallas going to win a championship. The West is deep. Didn't y'all just hear me say about the OKC Thunder and how they are deep and how they still have multiple first-round picks in these upcoming drafts? We can't just sleep on the Denver Nuggets. We can't sleep on the Lakers. We can't sleep on any team in the West, period. Because the West is just so deep. So, other than that, I really just think that, yes, Dallas did get a good player because remember, Cooper Flag was giving USA men supposedly hell, when they was all competing and, getting ready to compete for the gold. And, Cooper Flag was supposedly, was giving them buckets, was holding Team USA. And I'm not going to just say it was just Cooper Flag. He had a team, but it was headlined that Cooper Flag was the guy that was, doing all that. But when I'm looking at the way Dallas is setting up, it all depends on health. And that even goes for Cooper Flag as well. Because when you look at Dallas, when you look at what they are trying to build on paper, look like a good team. You don't have to have Cooper Flag being the main guy every day, every night, every game, because he got good veteran leadership. He got Kyrie. He got AD. He got PJ Washington. He still got he got Klay Thompson who won a championship. Multiples. So he got good guys around him. And this is why I say that Dallas it all depends on health. Because we all know that AD had always misses some time. And AD my guy, so I'm not gonna really talk too bad about him, but he do miss some time when you really need him. As soon as he got to Dallas, he got hurt. So Kyrie is coming back off an ACL injury. We still don't know a timetable when he's coming back. It's buzz and rumors that his rehab is going extremely well, kind of ahead of the curve and all that good stuff. But that's just rumors and speculations. We ain't going to really just live on that. I'm not going to really live on that, and I need to see this guy working out and all that other good stuff. But Kyrie is a private guy when it's come to his personal life, so we're not going to really see nothing about his workouts until it's time. Until he wants to show us. So, and then Cooper Flag also was dealing with an ankle injury as he was with Duke. Now I'm pretty sure it was nothing severe, as the MRI was saying that, but once one ankle injury, the next one start rolling in. But I'm not going to wish anything, no injuries bad on them. But that's what Dallas is dependent on, is health, because like I said, on paper they look good. Cooper Flag do bolster that roster up a little bit. You know what I mean? As long as he can find his footing and find his role, I think that Dallas is looking up. I can't wait to see how he's going to play in the Summer League. In my eyes, I think that he's going to kind of dominate the Summer League a little bit, because I just feel like that Cooper Flag is kind of ahead of that a little bit. You almost playing against guys that you played against last year in college somewhat. You're going to play, you get to sprinkle a little bit of veterans that might have played a year or two into this Summer League, but you mainly playing the guy that you're competing against last year. You know what I mean? Now, granted that you might have played against them in college, depending on which college they might have went to, but they all played in college level. So I'm pretty sure Cooper Flag is going to possibly look good in Summer League. So, just to get his feet wet, and I can't wait to see how he plays on a night in, night out, with the big guys in the NBA. So that's just what I'm saying, that I feel like Cooper Flag, good pick for the Dallas Mavericks. I give Dallas, you got to give them an A. That's just what it is. Cooper Flag showed us that he helped. Now, it just wasn't just him, but Cooper Flag most definitely helped participate in helping Duke to get deep into the NCAA tournament last year. Cooper Flag did, like I said, did give Team USA a little bit of problems when they was all in the training. So I really think that, Cooper Flag, Dallas Mavericks, you get an A for this, drafting this guy. Good move. Now I just need to see more once he can most definitely can do what he do. I need to see more. That's just it. The San Antonio Spurs was next, and I most definitely like what the Spurs did. They went on here and grabbed Ron Harper's son, Dylan Harper, from Rutgers, and I just think that this is a good, smart, safe move for the Spurs. Hear me out. The reason why I think that this is a smart, safe move, because you do not have to rush him as your primary guard right away. He can learn. He can develop a little bit, because they went on here and grabbed De'Aaron Fox in the trade last year, and I'm pretty sure you're not going to start him over De'Aaron Fox right away. There's no need to. There's no rush. You don't really have to almost put him in the starting lineup at times. Because what the San Antonio Spurs had, the team that they have, they are building, and they are building in the right direction. The San Antonio Spurs most definitely was my favorite team in this draft, and it was mainly just to see what they was going to do with that number 2 overall pick. And grabbing Dylan Harper was like, yes, good move. You're ready for the future. You know what I mean? Because just to sit here and think, De'Aaron Fox is still young. He hasn't hit his prime just yet. You know what I mean? I think he pretty much he's entering his prime time. But if things don't go right with De'Aaron Fox, they say, well, we paying this guy, number 1, and Dylan Harper. We draft him high at number 2. And if he already showing his progress, we got to go ahead and put him out there. But like I said, there's no rush. And this makes the San Antonio Spurs team very, very scary. You still got the rookie of the year, Stephon Castle. Still got a Harrison Barnes. You got a Wemby coming back. So, it's just like, and then the Spurs is still having a depth on the bench too. You still got Devin Vassell. You still got I just had Shorty name and it just slipped away from me that quick. But the Spurs are set up for success for the future, yo. Young, this young because they really don't have that many veterans other than the Harrison Barnes and De'Aaron Fox. Really, you can count Wemby as a veteran, but he's still young. But this team is young, and they drafting Dylan Harper. They're great. Call him Ron Harper. They're great. Show my age right there. But drafting Dylan Harper was a good move for the San Antonio Spurs. The number 3 pick went to the 76ers, and they grabbed BJ and Camp Edwards. Oh, man, I probably messed his name up. I do apologize, but this guy is very athletic. Everybody was thinking and banking that they was going to take Ace Bailey, but the Philadelphia 76ers said, no, we're not going to do that. He didn't want to work out for us. We're not going to give you employment. Why would we want to give you all that money? You didn't want to work out for us. So they went a different way. The Hornets, they went up with Con Knipple, a great shooter from Duke. Spread the floor for the Charlotte Hornets a little bit to see how they're going to run him, Melo, Brandon, what's his name? Brandon Smith. To see how they're going to run these young guys up there. It's going to be dope. Now, we're going to go ahead to the number 5 pick, and we're going to chit-chat about this one a little bit because this one was crazy, dude. The Utah Jazz is now on the clock, and everybody is starting to whisper like, "Oh, what's going to happen? What's going on? Is they going to take who? Are they going to take, yo?" And Ace Bailey name was called, and we all seen that Ace Bailey came out publicly saying that he only wants to go to 3 particular teams. And he called them out. Boom, boom, boom. He canceled workouts for every team to say, no, I'm not working out for you. It's not happening. They can't. So he did that. He was trying so hard to go to the team that he actually wanted. And it didn't work. You want to know why it didn't work? You ever heard this guy named Danny Ainge? Real good guy in the sports world that I know of. Danny Ainge is the most finesse guy in the world. I can't say that. Let me backtrack my steps. Danny Ainge is the most finesse guy in the NBA. As long as he's in the NBA, whatever team he's on, he's going to finesse the opposite teams, dog. Why did I call him the finesser? Let me tell you why, yo. Danny Ainge, back in his Boston days when he was a GM, this is the same guy that helped Boston get all them number 1 picks by dumping Kevin Garnett and Paul Pierce to the Brooklyn Nets. And the Brooklyn Nets was so stupid to say, yeah, we're going to give you all these draft picks, yo. And the next year, Danny Ainge and the Boston Celtics went on here and drafted Jaylen Brown. And then the following year, they drafted Jason Tatum. All in the top 5. Like, top 5. So, Danny Ainge wound up saying, hey, Boston, y'all good. Y'all sitting here competing. Y'all gotta do is find the right pieces and y'all can win a championship. I gave y'all the recipe. I gave y'all the main ingredients and Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. Y'all just gotta figure it out. Then he wound up going to Utah. And everybody was saying, oh, man, Utah, why did he go take that job? Blah, blah, blah. And then Utah has been on a downslide for the last couple of years. Somewhat competitive at times, but Utah has been ass for the last couple of years. And my, does this draft kind this is a little bit of something. Danny Ainge is not the GM of the Utah Jazz, but he do hold like basketball operations, something in that nature in that role. And he pretty much was the guy that pulled the trigger and told the GM, say, hey, there's the number 5 pick, take Ace Bailey. His GM probably looked at him and said, it ain't work out for us. Why would you do that? Take Ace Bailey. I have my reason. Commissioner comes up and says, hey, the number 5 pick is Ace Bailey. Ace Bailey ain't cracked a smile, didn't look excited, didn't look nothing. And the reason why I bring Danny Ainge up into this show, I feel like in the long run, somehow, some way, Danny Ainge is going to be a genius for doing this, for picking Ace Bailey. I think that he's going to wind up being a genius, dude. Everybody is going to be meat riding when it comes to when this happens. Because everybody's still going to be like, why would you draft a kid that he didn't want to come there? And then, not to top the cake off, he didn't even fly out to Utah just yet. And the draft was 2 days ago. So you sit here and scratch your head and like, yo, why did Danny Ainge do this? But I'm trying to tell y'all, it's going to, whatever he's thinking about and why did he did it, yo, he's going to wind up being a genius for it, yo. Because you want to know why I say that, yo? He not only just do it once in this draft alone, he did it twice. And the 21st overall pick, the Utah Jazz select Will Riley. Another guy who said he didn't want to get drafted by the Utah Jazz. Another guy that canceled a workout with the Utah Jazz. And you just say, like, hold on, Danny, what the fuck are you thinking about over here, yo? Why would you draft 2 players that didn't want to work out with you, didn't want to come to your team, but you still drafted them? Here's a couple of reasons why I think that Danny Ainge going to look like a damn genius when it's all said and done. Number one, if he can't get one or the 2 guys to buy in for Utah, trade them. Trade them to the team that he wants or the team that wants him. Trade him. His stock is still going to be high as hell. They're going to want multiple first round, second rounds for Ace Bailey. It's because of the potential that this guy can be. And this guy has potential. Like Ace Bailey, this guy got so much potential that he got more coverage than the number 1 overall pick. More coverage than the number 2 overall pick. People worried about Ace Brown being drafted way more than Cooper Flagg, because we already knew Cooper Flagg was going to Dallas. There was no ifs, ands, or buts about that. But Ace Bailey got way more coverage than the number 1 and number 2 draft picks alone. And like I said, I think that it's a couple of things, like I said, was going to happen. You could trade Ace Bailey away, get more picks back, and then you can build your team later in life. I think that, or Ace Bailey is finally going to buy in, show up, ball out, and help this team become the team that everybody's projecting this team could possibly be, a up and rising team. Because the Utah Jazz, whether we sit here and think about it, the Utah Jazz has some good pieces there already. They got like a Colin Saxton. They got a Laurie Marketing. They got a Walker Kessler. They got a Jordan Clarkson. You know what I mean? They got a Cavante George. They got some good pieces there. And then now you add Ace Bailey in there as your 3, maybe. And then it's like, yo, once they learn how to play together, once they learn the team chemistry, this team can be actually very, very scary, yo. In years to come. I'm not gonna say right away, but in years to come. So I just really think that Ace Bailey, I'm seeing, because Ace Bailey, yo, he's being compared to like a Tracy McGrady and a Michael Porter. That's some good comparisons. Tracy McGrady was one of the greatest scorers in NBA history. Michael Porter is an NBA champion. He most definitely put in the work to get that ring. You know what I mean? He was like the number 3 scorer. You know what I mean? But Michael Porter is a champion. So that's not too bad comparisons to who Ace Bailey can become, yo. And I really feel like Ace Bailey is I see that rumors that he's going to show up to Utah on Saturday, him and his family. But I see that people is trying to down his agent and stuff like that. And this can be my last part I'm gonna talk about. I see people trying to, you know, I'm not gonna be the guy that talks bad about somebody's agent, or the people that, you know, got his ear. You know what I mean? Everybody has a game plan when it comes to a draft, whether it's come to a trade, whether it's whatever the situation is. Everybody has a game plan. Sometimes people game plans is awkward, funny, and it looks a little crazy when we all don't agree with it. And granted, I didn't agree with what Ace Bailey agent or whoever told him to not do the workouts and stuff like that. And that's just crazy. I don't think that's a good plan. I think that you networking yourself, because you are a business. You're your own business. You are not just worrying about getting drafted by a team. Yes, that's the main concern, but you also are networking, because you don't know what that person might know that might help you lead to an endorsement deal or a training facility or start a non-profit organization. You don't know who is who. And you just thinking about, oh, I'm not working out with them because I don't want to go to that team. I don't want to show them my skills. That's just poor judgment. That's just terrible decision. You got to, like I said, it's all about networking. It's all about showing people that, yo, you are him. You shouldn't be thinking about drafting nobody else because I am him. That's my only thing about it. You know what I mean? If his agent is giving him this advice, or whoever is giving him this advice, yo, Ace, you are, at the end of the day, my guy, you are old enough, eligible enough to know what's right and wrong and what decisions to make. Like I said, granted, you're going to have people in your ear and all that good stuff. I get it, but don't blow your chance. It's once in a lifetime. It's people that I believe that should be in the NBA right now. It's not in the NBA. Shout out to Kenny Lofton Jr. But enjoy your time, my guy. You about to get like 46 something mil in your first year. And if you just keep elevating, yo, that 46 can turn into 86. The 86 can turn into 100. It's like, come on, yo. Come on now. You playing a game that you love, that a kid play for free. So get your act together, my guy. Because I believe that you can be that star who everybody think that you can be. You know what I mean? That star that you can be. You feel me? one more thing about the draft I want to talk about is my guy, of course, from Baltimore, Dark Queen, being drafted at number 13, selected by Atlanta, but being traded to New Orleans. And I love this move. I love it. Shout out to my guy, yo. I wish he would have went a little bit higher. I thought that the Houston Rockets had a chance to get him. I thought that would have been a good move for them, but I guess they figured they already have a big man in Şengün. I thought Washington was thinking about grabbing my guy too, but I guess they still sold on Alex Saw. Not a bad decision. I get it, but I really like this move for the Pelicans, grabbing Dark Queen, not only because he's from Baltimore, but the reason is because now you got a skilled big man. You don't just have an athletic big man as Zion Williamson. You have a skilled big man. You have a big man that got good footwork, that can score, that can rebound, that can be a playmaker, that can be can push the floor as well. You got a big man that can do 5 of those 5 great things and make this team elevate a little bit more. And I'm gonna talk about the Pelicans a little bit more later. But that is what they have working for them. You feel me? So I just think that Dark Queen being drafted, going to the New Orleans Pelicans, is really going to help them because the New Orleans Pelicans got good youth down there anyway. And I just love with the I just love that pick for them. And I love that they went and got Shorty Fears as well. Just a good move, all around move for the New Orleans Pelicans. I think that the Pelicans had the best draft this year again. I really just think that the Pelicans did their thing. They went out there and got players that they needed. They went out there and got players that they wanted, and they filled in some of them gaps. So shout out to the New Orleans Pelicans, man, for drafting my guy, Dark Queen, man. And later on the show, I'm going to go ahead and talk about them again because they also did some more great things in the offseason. They ain't this draft well. They also did a move that kind of surprises, but I think it fits them as well. But yeah. That shout out to Dark Queen. Shout out to all the rookies that got drafted this year, man. Y'all, I can't wait to see some of y'all play in the summer league. Can't wait to see some of y'all transitioning to going to the NBA or even to the G League, man. And you possibly getting your name called up. Another Baltimore guy, my guy, Juju Reese. Yes, the name sound familiar. It's Angel Reese's brother. He didn't get drafted, but he did get picked up by the Lakers on a 2-way contract. I can't wait to see how you transition your game, man. I'm pretty sure that means you're going to be in the G League and with the Lakers from time to time, but another Baltimorean is in the league. That's all that matters. You feel me? So shout out to Juju Reese, man, for making the team, man. I can't wait to see your journey as well, to see how where you're going to end up and how you progressing as your time in the league, yo. So I spent a lot of time on the NBA draft, yo, and I spent way more time than I wanted to. But yeah, yo, this NBA draft was decent. I give this whole draft, I give it a B+. I still think that there's some things that they need to work out in the draft. Number one, they did terrible on them hats. Them hats was terrible. Like these are the guys that's coming in, in the most exciting time, man. You gotta make them want that hat. Of course, they want the hat because they get drafted, but them hats just look plain Jane, though. It is NBA got to do a little bit better on them hats, yo. What else I didn't like about the draft? It was something else. Oh man, that made me give them a B+. Dang. But all in all, the draft was still a decent draft. I just overall I give them a B+ for the draft, period. Now, switch it over to the NBA still, but we're gonna talk about the offseason moves, the guys that has already been there and doing that. You feel me? And it was some NBA trades that had went down, yo, and Some of these trades had us like, wow, that really happened. You feel me? And one of those trades that I was sitting here talking about, as I was alluding to about the New Orleans Pelicans, was the Washington Wizards and the New Orleans Pelicans. They had traded Jordan Poole and Shaquan Bay and the number 40 overall pick for this upcoming draft. This past draft for CJ McCollum, Kelly Olynyk, and a future second round pick. And New Orleans. I really feel like New Orleans got a decent player in Jordan Poole. The only thing is, I hope he matured and I hope he really learned his lesson playing in Washington, in my eyes, because Washington really should have opened your eyes. Like, Doug, you gotta most definitely grow your game, because at one point in time, I thought that you wasn't gonna last. I really thought that you was probably going to be trying to make your exit out the NBA, and you really shouldn't, because you got all the talent in the world. But now you're going to the New Orleans Pelicans with Zion Williamson. They just drafted Derek Queen. They got Herb Jones. They got Trey. They got Trey also. Deontay Murray. It's like the New Orleans Pelicans. This was a good move for the Pelicans. And I'm gonna give the New Orleans Pelicans a C- for this trade. I still, like I said, Jordan Poole is still questionable. We got to see what type of maturity that this guy going to go through and all this other good stuff. It's just like New Orleans is always teetering this line to be a play-in team, maybe not a play-in team, and it's always the injury bug that hits them, particularly Zion Williamson. So I just really think if this team can stay healthy, if this team can really just, ball out how I really think they're going to ball out, the New Orleans Pelicans can be a seed in my eyes. All right, for the Washington Wizards, the Washington Wizards, like I said, they got CJ McCollum, but the Washington Wizards is really doing something that could be a little bit of a genius move, Now, they went out here and grabbed hella vets. Now, they already got Chris Middleton. They got CJ McCollum. They had Marcus Smart. They get Kelly Olynyk in the trade. They got some way they got Michael Brogdon on that team. Don't know how that happened. And with them doing that, the Washington Wizards have now saved themselves cap space up to 190 mil. That's a lot of chicken. And then the great thing is that they still got some young players. They drafted Shaw last year. They just drafted what's the guy named Trey Johnson this year out of the draft. So I think that the Wizards, and the first thing that gets me to thinking about the Wizards is that this team, the East is wide open. I'm not saying that this is a championship team, but this team can make the playoffs, and they haven't made the playoffs in a while. With the great mixture of veterans and rookies, this team can really look a little scary. You feel me? Because I'm trying to get to the Wizards' little projected start lineup. You can get these guys. You got Carlton that can be your PG. You got McCollum that can be your shooting guard. You got Chris Middleton. You can add Alex Shaw. You can add, It's just like, anyway, the Wizards are just like safe. You know what I mean? That's like the good word that I can really say, is that they are safe. You feel me? And for them to save 109 mil off this cap space for 2026, which means they can bring in another star. They can bring in some guys. But what do I think about this team? This kind of team remind me of the Gilbert Arenas, Caron Butler type team. Nene, you know what I mean? That it gives me that type of feel. It gives me the feel that they setting you up for the future. This team right here can, make a little bit of noise if the team chemistry is right and everything goes right. And then later on, they can bring on some the future of the Wizards. So I really kind of like how what the Wizards is kind of moving and what they are thinking about. The next trade that I want to talk about. Oh, so I give the Wizards a B plus for this trade. The next one is you can just see that the Boston Celtics is trying to create cap space for themselves for the following year. Yo, they traded Drew Holiday for Anthony Simons and 2 second-round picks. Anthony Simons, the only thing on that end about this guy, Shorty is a good scorer. Most definitely a good perimeter, and he can play a little bit of defense. My only downfall about Anthony Simons is health. It's like Boston Celtics is already kind of coming into a season dealing with health. They don't have their star and Jason Tatum. So what I'm looking for out of Anthony Simons is Shorty going to have to be available for the Boston Celtics. And I know the Boston Celtics is most definitely going to say, like, yeah, he best to be available because giving up Drew Holiday is crazy. And then also the Celtics went on here and traded Porzingis away to Atlanta. And the Celtics went on here and get George Niang and a second-round pick. Okay, he get a little shooting spree here and there. I guess he's gonna fit good with Boston because he like to shoot threes. That's like the only thing I can get out of that. But you can just see that Boston is really trying to get below this luxury tax. And you can see that teams are reaching out about Jaylen Brown and Derek White. I'll be shocked if they trade Jaylen Brown. Because why would you trade your co-star while Jason Tatum is down? That'd be like, that's a crazy move. Derek White, I wouldn't be surprised if he get traded, but somewhat I would be surprised. But I really don't see that. I really don't see the Boston Celtics like breaking down fully like that. And you know what I mean? That means they waving a white flag this year if they do that. But I don't see that happening. But for the Simons and Holiday trade, I give the Boston Celtics a B for that trade because, you know, we got to see what version of Anthony Simons we're going to get. For the Blazers, you will get a B because Drew Holiday is pissed. He don't want to play there. And I really feel like this is going to be a buyout situation. And if he do buy out, I really feel like Drew Holiday is going to go to a contender team, probably somewhere in the East, and it's probably going to wreak havoc on the Boston Celtics. That's how I feel about that. For the Atlanta Falcons, yo, I really feel for them, they get an A for getting crossed out, getting Porzingis. The only thing about that, he just got to be healthy. And if Porzingis is healthy, man, him with Trae Young and that young team that they have down there can be a very, very head-scratching team. Team can be I'm not going to say scary, but I'm going to say spooky. They can be a spooky team, you feel me? For the Celtics getting George Niang, you get a C. I just think that Shorty is not going to be beneficial to the Celtics. Like I said, he can shoot threes. I give him that, but I think he's a defensive liability. He's not consistent when it comes for him shooting threes. So I just think that this is just not an all-around good move for the Celtics of getting him. But let's talk about the big trade real quick, y'all, before I let y'all before we switch over. Let's talk about the Kevin Durant trade. Because Kevin Durant is no longer with Phoenix. He has now moved on to the Houston Rockets. And him going to the Houston Rockets, I see a lot of people were saying that this is not a good move for the Houston Rockets, that the Houston Rockets is not going to win a championship. The Houston Rockets is they crazy for trading Jalen Green for a older Kevin Durant and stuff like that. In my eyes, the Houston Rockets, this is what they needed. No disrespect to Jalen Green. I think Shorty is a good star in this league, but I also just think that Kevin Durant is what you needed. You need a consistent score. You need a closeout score. You need somebody that's going to finish the games for you. And that's what Kevin Durant can do. He's a walking bucket. He's a walking 26.5 points per game. Yes, Kevin Durant is going to be about 37 once the season starts into this season. But Kevin Durant is still a scoring machine. Yes, he's not going to give you the Kevin Durant defense he was with Golden State. No. But that's why you didn't trade away Amin Thompson. That's why you didn't trade Şengün. That's why you didn't trade away Cam Whitmore. But there's a rumor that Cam Whitmore might be getting traded as well. But I just think that Kevin Durant is just what the Houston Rockets need. The Houston Rockets is not going to go to the championship with Kevin Durant. Because like I said in the beginning of the show, the West is deep. You feel me? The West is really deep. But with the Houston Rockets, I really just think that Kevin Durant do give you a chance to go into the playoffs. Kevin Durant can help you make it to a second round. You know what I mean? Now, like I said, we got to see, is Van Vliet going to show up? Because I see that he is also signing a contract extension. You got to see that Amin Thompson not just stay on last year's level, that he actually picked up another level. Can Şengün be consistent? Now, he's a double-double machine, but we need to see him elevate his game to be an all-star guy now. So, I just really just think that this is a playoff team already. Now, what they're going to do with Cam Whitmore is going to really weigh in some more, because Cam Whitmore is a decent player. I think that he most definitely could have benefited if he wound up staying. He could benefit from Kevin Durant being there, because Cam Whitmore is a scorer. And Kevin Durant can give you some tools and stuff like that to become a scorer, a consistent scorer. You can learn from that, my guy. So hopefully that Houston Rockets can keep him. And they also got Jabari Smith. They also got Shepard Reed. So it's like the Houston Rockets are pretty decent team. I'm not gonna say they are a loaded team, but they are pretty decent. He got the hell away from Phoenix, where Phoenix was just top heavy. They had no bench, they had nobody else. They had water boys playing in certain games. You feel me? So it was just a disaster in Phoenix. Phoenix was just trying to worrying about just throwing money at their players. They ain't worrying about trying to develop or get no team chemistry there or try to win no championship. They just think that throwing money and getting players who they believe that can score is going to win championships. That ain't going. You see that? That's why Kevin Durant got the hell up out of there. Jalen Green gone to the Phoenix Suns, and Phoenix Suns yet get another guard. And I ain't gonna hold you. Them getting another guard. I gotta give y'all this stat right here. Hold on, let me find this. Them getting another guard. Let me tell you how much that the Phoenix Suns are paying. I think like 4 guards, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, on 4 shooting guards, the Phoenix Suns has spent 157 mil. That's what Devin Booker, Grayson Allen, Jalen Green, and Bradley Beal. 157 million. That's the Suns has spent 101% of their cap space on shooting guards. Yes. Let me say that for the people in the back. They spent 101% of their cap space on one position. But don't get me wrong, they kind of fixed that in the draft. You know what I mean? They went on here and grabbed some bigs. They drafted a big and they traded for a big. So, but for one position, that's a lot of money. You feel me? It's like, here's the contracts. Bradley Beal's getting paid $53.66 mil. Devin Booker, $53.14 mil. Jalen Green, $33.33 mil. Grayson Allen is getting paid $16.87 mil. That's a lot of money for that position, And that's why that the Phoenix Suns are what I said. They just keep throwing money and think that things is going to be fixed and think things is going to be okay. No, it's not. It's not working. It's not going to work. In my opinion, I really feel like that Jalen Green is probably going to wind up getting traded again. I think that that's the best move. Don't get me wrong. I think that Jalen Green he will be okay in Phoenix, but I just don't see how him and Devin Booker is going to really clash. Devin Booker likes the ball in his hand. He can eventually play the one at times. Jalen Green, that's why the Houston Rockets got rid of him, in my opinion, because he liked to keep the ball in his hand a lot. Now, don't get me wrong, Shorty can pass from time to time, but you can just see that he's a one-on-one player. Bradley Beal is a one-on-one player. So it's like you got all these one-on-one players. How the hell you want to fix that? So I really just think that the Phoenix Suns is just crazy. They get a C- for that trade, for that Jalen Green and Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant and the Houston Rockets, you get an A+. Kevin Durant is I think he's going to retire there from there in Houston. He's going to you get the coach with, you get his coach, Ime Udoka, who he had ties with in Team USA. So it's just like everything is, I just think that this is going to be a good fit for Kevin Durant. Now, this was, like I said, Kevin Durant's not going to deliver a championship because this is not the Kevin Durant in his 20s, but, still a good move. I really just think that Kevin Durant is really going to help Houston out. I think that he's going to get Houston to the playoffs in my eyes. All right. I had a comment. My guy Atro Campbell said, "Who were the Lakers trading Austin Reeves for? We need somebody who can play defense." Yeah, I see that Austin Reeves is pretty much declining his option, and he's pretty much going to be testing the free agency if the Lakers don't trade him. If the Lakers do trade him, I think the Lakers most definitely will have to find a big. They got to find a big. I don't know what big off top that is worth trading Austin Reeves for, but don't get me, because Austin Reeves, he showed up. He came from the bottom. You know what I mean? But I just don't think that Austin Reeves is the answer for the Lakers. I think that if I'm the Lakers, if this run with him and Luka don't work out in the beginning of the season, yeah, trade him. Get the best value you can get. Get all you can get before you get nothing for him in the offseason. And I really just think that you have to go with big. You have to go find a big. And if they can establish a big who knows that he's probably going to wind up being the third option at times and can consistently score, I think that will help the Lakers out. That will help Luka out for sure. That will help the Lakers defense out. You got an old LeBron. You got Luka don't really play strong defense. Austin Reeves don't really play good defense. You feel me? So I just really feel like that the Lakers really gonna have to find a big if they wind up trading Austin Reeves. Appreciate the question, my guy. Keep them rolling, y'all. All right, we're ready to switch to the last segment. I done talked about the NBA draft. I done talked about NBA trades and gave them my breakdowns, my predictions, my grades. Let's talk about a super fight that's coming up in September, Doug. Yo, this is the fight that I'm pretty sure everybody cannot wait. And I'm pretty sure that I'm hearing that Netflix might carry this. Netflix, you better get this streaming platform right if you are carrying this fight. And this is going to be the fight between Canelo Álvarez versus Terence Bud Crawford. This is a super fight. The fight that everybody has been waiting for. Really figure out who is the pound for pound king. And I ain't gonna hold y'all, yo. It is taking me a minute to figure out who I really want to win this fight, yo. Because you got Canelo Álvarez record, his boxing record. Hold on, I'm about to pull it up for y'all real quick. He is 63 wins. He has 2 losses. He has 39 knockouts. He has 2 draws. And he did all this in 67 fights. He's an orthodox stance. He is from Mexico. You know what I mean? He didn't claw his way up. That he is most definitely the pound-for-pound king. Well, one of the pound-for-pound kings. Now, Terence Crawford, who's 37 years old, out of 41 fights, 41 wins, 31 by the KOs. And now we are sitting here to figure out, is Canelo going to get his 3rd loss? Or is Terence Crawford going to get his 1st loss? And I think that this fight, it ain't going to be no goddamn running. I can tell you that right now. I don't see no running at all in this fight. I can just see that in this fight, these 2 guys will be standing in the middle of the ring, throwing punches down there the whole fight. I don't really see nobody taking steps back. I can see them going in circles, but I don't see nobody, taking a step back. I really just see that these 2 are really going to put it all out there. It's a lot on the line, Like, fuck the money. We talking about respect. We talking about who is one of the best fighters in this era. Who is going to outlast who? You got, like I said, and a lot of people are turning their heads against Terence Crawford because they was like, well, you too little. You ain't been in this division yet. Why would you do this? Canelo is a hard-hitting motherfucker. This guy is a killer. Yes, he might have lost to Floyd Mayweather, but who didn't? But other than, I forgot who his other loss that he lost to, but other than that, Canelo, he don't show no mercy. And I, the crazy thing, and I love what Bud Crawford said, He said, well, he don't know what I can do. Every time I step up, people keep questioning it. And then what happened to them? And it's like, shit, you right. Lightweight, light welterweight, light middleweight. Woo! He's right. Everybody was like, Errol Spencer's going through Crawford. We don't know, Errol Spencer's different, And Bud put an ass whooping on him. And then, in Bud last fight, he showed us, was like, I don't know, Bud is different. But she was like, it's Canelo. He been dominating this weight for a while now. He can hold his own. We know Canelo is a killer, But I really, like I said, I think that this is going to be a absolutely brawl, I think that this fight, what is scheduled for 12? This fight is going to distance. Nah. I ain't going to go out like that, Yes, I am. This fight going to go to distance. I can see knockdowns in there. I want to say 1 apiece. You know what I mean? I want to say 1 apiece. I can see knockdowns. I can see 2 knockdowns that's going to happen in this fight. It's going to go 1 apiece. 1-1. But who I really think is going to outbox, outclass, show them that they are, that he is them, he is him. I'm riding with Terence Crawford, And it's not a lot of fights that I ride with against Canelo. You feel me? But I'm riding with Terence Crawford, Doug. I just seen, like I say, each class that he keeps stepping up to, he shocked the world. And I really feel like that Terence Crawford got a little bit more pressure than Canelo. Got his record on the line. he's stepping up to somebody else's weight class. So, it's like all the odds are against him. So, and I'm not saying that Canelo is sleeping on Crawford, because you can just see in Canelo's face when they had that face off that Canelo ain't scared of him. Canelo ain't backing down. He ain't gonna back down from Bud. And it's like, then you look at Bud, it's like it's the same goddamn way. He ain't going back down. He ain't scared. But I really just think that this fight will go to decision. This fight will go all 12 rounds. And I just think that Bud Crawford will outbox Canelo Álvarez, in my opinion. I think that he's going to have a little bit more clean shots. I think he's going to be able to showcase his speed and his power that he's also possessed too. Like I said, Canelo Álvarez do have power, but he don't have the same speed that he used to have. And I think that that's what the advantage goes to Bud at, in my eyes. I think that, Bud being 37, and Canelo is being 34. Oh, Canelo younger. Oh, might have to change this. No, I'm not going to change it, but I had to reword it. Canelo is 34. Terence is 30. Bud Crawford is 37. I but still just really feel like that. Bud Crawford had the speed and power to counter on Canelo, which is Canelo, in my eyes, just have his power. He still got a little bit of speed, but I think Terence Crawford might be a little bit faster. So I'm gonna ride with Terence Crawford. This fight gonna go to distance. This fight gonna go to 12. I think that it's gonna be that Bud Crawford has the cleaner and he outboxed Canelo Álvarez, and I really think that Bud Crawford will throw more punches than Canelo, and I think that that's how he's going to edge to win the fight. So I'm taking Bud Crawford in the decision. I'm taking him, and he keeps his undefeated record, and he becomes the pound-for-pound king, you feel me? So I'm calling it early. Here's it right here. I am taking Bud Crawford in a decision against Canelo. And like I said, I don't go against Canelo a lot. You feel me? So, Bud Crawford, I'm riding with you, yo. Y'all let me know who y'all riding with and why and what y'all think is going to happen and why y'all riding with that person. Drop it in the comments, you feel me? But that will conclude my 153rd episode, my 153rd thought. My apologies. I greatly appreciate everybody who tuned in, tapped in, comments. I greatly appreciate y'all, yo. Just make sure y'all go out here and hit that like, share, and subscribe button, as I am trying to get to my mini goal to 1,000 subscribers. And I need y'all help to go out here and spread the word as well. So if you know somebody who can be somebody, who want to be somebody, let them know that MTMO Sports Podcast is what they need in their rotation. You feel me? I'm trying, like I said, I'm trying to get to my mini goal to 1,000 subscribers, and I need y'all help, yo. So help me out on that. Also, make sure y'all go out here and follow all of my social media platforms. For TikTok and Instagram, it's MTMO_sports podcast. For Facebook and Twitter or X, it is my THTS, my opinion. And make sure y'all go out here and follow my nonprofit organization as well, Walking Mile in Our Shoes. We are on all social media platforms, whether it's TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. We own it all. You feel me? Make sure y'all go out here and support us. For the Baltimore fundraiser, make sure y'all get y'all raffle tickets. We still got like 9 days left before I start calling out the winners of the 2 lucky kids for this sneaker raffle, yo. Can't wait to announce that. Yeah, yo, like I said, I greatly appreciate everybody for tuning in, yo. I most definitely will be tapping in next week. So, this is my 153rd thought, and I greatly appreciate y'all. And I'm out.